Guys, what's up? It's Aslam. You on the 9 to 5 Millionaire page, and as we've been promising, we're going live here with Jeremy, my buddy. Jeremy,
What's up, brother?
what's up, my man?
You good?
Okay.
Great, man.
So he's going to be sharing 5 tips to succeeding at trading forex. He's been doing it for 10 years. He's replaced his monthly income just by trading forex. He works about 2 to 3 hours a day at most. Lives on the golf course. That's where I'm meeting him. He said, come and meet me at the golf course. So that's where we are right now. And you want to be staying on to the end of this video. So he's going to share his story. He's going to share some of his best trading tips. And more importantly, if you stay to the end of this video, we're going to be announcing something really, really amazing. Okay, which is basically we're going to be having whoever gets into our free training, that's what we're going to be announcing at the end. One lucky person is going to get a fully funded trading account just to get you started and on the roll. So without further ado, let's get into the detail. How's it, Vitesh? Nice to see you on there, brother. Guys, when you come on, just let us know where you're coming in from. If you're watching this on the replay, just go #replay. If you haven't followed the 9 to 5 Millionaire page just yet, make sure you're following the page so that you can keep up to date with what's going on. Okay, so guys, let's start the interview. This is my buddy Jeremy, and I'm just going to ask him some questions in terms of his journey and how he got into the whole forex game. Jeremy, how are you doing today, bro?
I'm great, brother. I'm happy to be alive. I'm grateful that God has blessed us with an amazing day like this.
Cool, man.
And we're able to share this information with you guys, man.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so Jeremy, I think before we get into all the technical detail, I know forex is a very technical topic.
Yeah.
Maybe give us some of your backstory. Tell us like where you started, some of the things you've tried.
Okay.
Obviously, you've been doing forex now for 10 years. You're doing quite well. And we'll touch on, Jeremy will touch on some of the successes he's had with forex. But I think it's good to understand, where he comes from, because sometimes we see the end result, and the end result doesn't necessarily tell you the person's journey. We just see the success, and we don't see the journey and the strife and the struggle that happened in the background. So maybe, if you can touch on that, let us know your background, how you started, how you got into all of this.
Yeah, awesome. So, I mean, it's a really personal story for me. And it has a lot of emotions involved in it as well, because the seed of trading was actually planted in my mind roughly like 20 years ago. And my dad, he's a very successful businessman, and he had made quite good businesses and good moves in his lifetime, and he was very involved in the JSE and buying and purchasing stocks. And so at a very young age, I think I was about 15 or 16 years old, 702 was hosting a little competition where you could register. It was something like 100 Rand to register, and they would basically give you a demo account of about 100,000 Rand, which you could go and now pick some shares and stuff. And I think it ran for over like 3-4 months. And after that 3 or 4 month period, they would choose a winner. So whoever had made the most money in their trading accounts would actually get that trading accounts funded and be able to use that money to build their portfolio. So me and my dad joined this competition. He paid the 100 Rand for me. And at this point, man, I knew nothing about trading. I was a newbie. I didn't even know the name of the companies that were listed on the JSE. And so I just went about randomly picking like a few different shares and made up my 100,000 Rand. And so the time went on, the 1, 2 months, 3 months went by, and I had found that I had beat my dad in this competition, And so it was purely by fluke, and that was really where the seed was planted in my mind. Did I take action at that point? No, I didn't take any action. I was too young to even have any money to invest in the market. And so when I finished school and started going to university and stuff, trading, forex, the stock exchange was the last thing really on my mind. We come from a generation where we were taught to go to school, get good grades so you could get a job. And that was kind of my plan as well. You know, I went to school, I was studying in university, I was doing an MBA, a BCom, and then I flunked out at the BCom, you know, which was a big failure because my dad was bitterly disappointed with me. And then I did 1 year of political science at Rao as well, which is now the Johannesburg University.
Sure.
And I did that for a year and I flunked out as well. I wasn't an academic. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, and schooling just wasn't for me, you know. And I came out of university not really knowing what I'd do, but I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I had this hustler spirit. I wanted to get out there and do things, you know. So I started out with clothing. Believe it or not, clothing was kind of the first venture I got into where I'd say it was a business. My other business was music. I used to enjoy music, so I was a DJ from about the age of 17, and I would DJ in clubs and stuff and make up some money, and that helped me get enough money to start my clothing business. And so really what I was doing was flying to like Thailand and Asia and just getting like a whole lot of stock, bringing it back and selling it to friends and family, and really out of my boot. So I was hustling that way. I did that for about 4 or 5 years, and I found that, you know, it was getting a little bit monotonous, and customs was kind of holding up my stock in customs because some of the stuff was like branded stuff and it wasn't allowed in the country. So I started looking at something else. What else could I do, you know? And I had come over an opportunity of starting a fast food franchise, you know. So I think when someone has money, you know, and you want to invest in a business, you obviously want to invest in a business that you think is a successful model, and you want to find something that's working for other people and it can work for you. So I managed to hustle up almost like 500,000 Rand to open up a fish and chip franchise. And at that time, you know, I knew nothing about the food industry. I was just excited to get involved in a business that would, you know, teach me, you know, how to turn my small money into more money and how I could build a monthly income from it. Not really understanding how much work that actually took. You know, running a franchise business is, I would say, worse than having a job. It was like a 9 to 5. I would wake up every morning, drive through traffic down to town, and be catching, you know, speeding fines all the time, opening the doors, staying at the shop the whole day, to find that like almost after a year of running this business, I still wasn't making any profit. I wasn't even hardly breaking even. It was costing me money to have this business every month. And after about a year, I decided, you know, I can't continue doing this. I'm not making any profit. It's costing me time. It's costing me money. And at that time, I had just had my first child. And, you know, for me, family is very important. I wanted to spend time with my daughter. You know, I want to spend time with my wife. And the fish and chips just wasn't allowing me to do that, you know. And so I had come across another opportunity, which was in the network marketing space. And it was one of my friends was doing it. He introduced me to this idea. I took a look at the idea and I was super excited about it because it was around travel and I love to travel and that kind of thing. And so I got involved with that as well. And, you know, as I started working that business, I found that it was something else that also required me to trade my time for money. And it wasn't only just in the day. I was working late at night till 11, 12 o'clock, you know, in different places like, you know, El Dorado Park and Soweto. And I was going all over the place, driving more than I ever drove, you know, always out on the streets, you know, meeting people, having to rely on people's word and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I managed to build a successful business in that, but it also didn't give me the freedom that I was really, really looking for, you know. It took time away from my family, it took time away from my kids and stuff, and I wasn't able to spend as much time as I hoped to spend with them. But I was able to take them on some like pretty cool vacations and stuff. So there were benefits, there were pros and cons to that. And, you know, after I started sitting down and looking at my life and what I really wanted out of life, for me, the main thing that stood out to me was, you know, my time, my freedom, you know, being able to spend that time with my family. And I was even at a point where, you know, having less money and more time made sense to me, you know, but obviously we need money to pay for our expenses. At this time, I had already been trading on the JSE. I had bought some stocks and I had just let them sit long term. So I was like accumulating a bit of a growth, creating some dividends and some extra money through that. But it wasn't really a thing that requires a lot of my time, you know. And I started seeing that, you know, now this whole world of Forex had come about and people were actually trading currencies and gold and platinum and all other kinds of instruments. And I really liked the idea of that, you know, sitting at home, being able to just open my computer or take a look at my phone and turn money into money without having to drive anywhere, without having to sacrifice the time that I'm going to spend with my family, without having to put myself at risk, you know, being at these weird places all the time. And I remember the first time I placed my first trade, and you know, that money that I put up turned into a profit, and I closed the trade out. And it literally took like 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to make that decision to place that first trade. And once I had made it, my whole mindset shifted at that point, because it made me realize the power of technology. And you know, something simple as a smartphone, which every one of us has today. We all have internet, we all have smartphones, but you know, are we using these tools efficiently? You know, that was the question I was asking myself. And so I started going through the personal development, going for courses, trying to figure out like how this thing actually works, and investing as much time into acquiring the skills so that I could create this freedom, you know, that I was so desperately after. All I wanted to do was spend time with my family and have enough money to do what I wanted to do. And so, yeah, that's brought me 10 years down the line. I've been able to replace my income just purely with my cell phone. I trade daily. Every day I trade the Forex market, the stock market. I'm taking a look at my portfolio, making small adjustments. And it takes me no more than like 2 to 3 hours a day of actual like focus and work. The rest of the time, you know, I'm doing research, I'm developing my skills, I'm learning something new, and I'm continuously developing myself and finding other opportunities now that are able to create me more time freedom and more money because of Forex, because of the trading environment that I've been put in.
Okay, awesome. I think maybe yes, freedom of time there, Tulani. You're right. Damien, yes, time freedom is priceless. Absolutely right. And I think that's what we're all looking for, right? I just want to go back to what you said. You know, you placed your first trade. Maybe if you can just touch on, you know, how much did you put in there? You know, you know, did you have was there someone that was guiding you at the time?
Yeah.
You know, how much did you make from that first trade? You were obviously nervous, I would assume.
Yes.
Okay, maybe if you can touch on that.
Yeah, so my actual first experience in the kind of like Forex market, it wasn't really Forex itself. It was something called binary options.
Oh.
And I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that online, like these adverts where they say you can make, you know, $100 in a minute and you can make all this money. So I had put about $1,000 down into this binary options account. And in my first 2 days, I had made $400 off my $1,000. So I had made a 40% return in literally 2 days. And I had no idea what I was doing, to be honest. I was just placing the trade with the intuition of which way it would go, according to the skills and the knowledge that I had. The first couple of days went good, and that's when I, you know, started getting a bit too confident and getting a bit greedy. The greed started kicking in, and I started placing more and more trades. And I ended up losing that $1,000 within the next week, you know. So, but the feeling was ecstatic. Like when I made that first trade, I thought I am going to be a multi-millionaire within like 2 months or something, you know. Because if I can do this with $1,000, imagine if I put $100,000, what I'm able to create with that kind of money. And so yeah, the naivety of being someone who was new in the industry, got to me. And that's the point where I realized, I needed to study, I needed to actually learn the skill and acquire the knowledge so that I could make this a full-time thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I wanna, yes, greed. You're right. Right. Sometimes it's like gambling.
Yeah.
I think he mentioned something very, very important. He took $1,000. If you're in South Africa, that's obviously in today's currency, it's about 15,000 rand. And for me, the main thing there is he took a risk. And we live in a time where everyone wants none of the risk, but they want all the results. So I think that's a very important point that Jeremy has touched on in terms of actually taking the risk and risking his capital, not knowing what to do. So he took imperfect action, not really having the knowledge of how to do it, but at the same time you realize that you need to get an education. Okay. Maybe tell us about some of the education that you got, where you got it.
Yeah.
And if you paid for it, if you can give us some ideas of how much you invested more or less.
Yeah.
To get all that training.
For sure. So yeah, after that first loss that I took, I realized that before I put money back into this market, I wanted to get the right education, the right skills, so that I can make informed decisions when trading. So I started on YouTube. I mean, that's where most of us go and research whatever we're looking for, and find some information, just a little bit of information that could move me on to the next step. So I went to YouTube. I started searching for trainings. How does Forex work? What's the difference between binary options and Forex? Because at that time I was naive. I didn't even know the difference. And so I did some research and I found out that, obviously Forex is a much more safer environment than binary options because there's no, time limit and, it's not so much gambling as binary options is. And so I also searched on Google for where I could find like a in-person course because I wanted to actually find a mentor, someone who I could ask questions and get some like one-on-one interaction with. And to be honest, it was very difficult to find that person in South Africa. At that point, like nobody was really a big trader. No one was really offering courses of that kind of magnitude, and so I just continued to self-teach myself. I was a self-taught trader, and so I watched a lot of videos, I read some trading books, and then I had found a guy through my brokerage, which was my JSE brokerage, my stock portfolio brokerage, who was running like a 3-day course, and his 3-day course was something like 10,000 Rand. And I went to that course, and he was a very successful trader. He had been trading for almost 20 years, and the course that he had given us was basically a breakdown of a 3-year course that he had done in America. And he had taken that 3-day course and turned it into a 3-year course and turned it into a 3-day course, and just taken out all the main things. And we sat with him. He showed us technical analysis. He taught us how to read charts, how to understand the movement of currencies, of stocks. And so that just gave me a broader, horizon. It made me understand the market with a lot more clarity. And so that I could go out and start practicing what I learned. But here was the thing, doing the course, it wasn't enough to make me a successful trader. I had to do the work for myself. Like anything in life, if you want to be a successful golfer, you got to go out and swing 100 balls a day, hit 100 balls, swing that club. If you want to be a bodybuilder, you got to go to the gym, pick up those weights, gym, so that you can see small progress daily, which once you look back after a year or 2 years, you see a huge progress, but you can't measure it in a day. You can't measure it in 3 days. So that 3 days course just gave me the foundation of what I needed to build on to become a successful trader.
Okay. So I think that's really awesome. Very the technicals, Thulani. I think for me the next question, and this was actually a question that someone sent to me after the promo, or while we were going through this whole promo period. and they wanted to know like what is the minimum amount one can start with. So just picture that it's a complete newbie watching this right now, and they want to get into Forex, but they don't know how much they're going to need to invest. So what would they need to start with?
So that's the beauty of this industry, man. Unlike other businesses, which may require rent, staff, setup costs, all of these different moving parts that are hard to control and be on top of. With Forex, a minimum deposit of $100 is all you need. So that's like roughly 1,500 Rand is all you really need to get started in this industry. And I know a lot of us can spend 1,500 Rand at the club on a weekend, or on a nice pair of shoes, or on anything that's not really adding value to our lives, So I think it comes down to like discipline. How disciplined are you with your money? That you're going to take some money and be able to invest it in a business. And a simple business like Forex, $100 could turn into $1,000, could turn into $10,000 over a certain period of time, which will allow you to start other businesses and do other things with your money. So that's the beauty of Forex, and that's why I love to recommend it to anyone who doesn't have a lot of money, who wants to be an entrepreneur. I mean, it's really easy to get involved in the industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I think where I want to move to next, in terms of your experience.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit personal.
Yeah.
I know you don't just make money.
Yeah.
You also lose money. Maybe if you can give the viewers an example of how much money you've made, like one of your best, 1 or 2 best months,
okay.
and maybe some of the months where you felt like hanging yourself.
Yeah. So that's the thing with trading, with Forex. The market is so unpredictable, You can have so much control over what's going to happen and what you predict is going to happen. But something like Donald Trump sending a tweet about China could affect your trade, right? And you didn't see that coming. So for me, like, losing money was probably the biggest lessons that I have ever learned in trading. Because there is no loss without a lesson. The loss really just teaches you how to do it better next time. So personally, like, I had a big loss. And it wasn't because I was in control of that trade. Being a trader, you want to try all these different things to find that one thing that really works for you. And so I started implementing using a Forex robot, which is basically a tool that you set up on your trading account, which trades on your behalf. It finds opportunities in the market based on whatever algorithm that robot uses. And so one day I set up this robot, and I was out for lunch with my wife, and man, literally in 20 minutes, I lost 50,000 Rand.
50,000 Rand. Okay, geez. Okay.
I lost that in like 30 minutes. And I was broken, man. I was literally, I've never lost that much money in such a short space of time in my life. I felt like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I went to the restaurant and I just started drinking beer. I didn't know how to numb the pain. But, it taught me a huge lesson. It taught me never to rely on the shortcuts. Never go and find what's the shortcut and how I can make money automated, because it sounds all great and people will pitch all these fantastic things that might be possible through these trading robots. But in my own experience, I don't trade with any robots after that 50,000 Rand loss I made that day. I purely rely on myself. And I would say like the best month I ever had, I made around 150,000 Rand in a month.
Okay, nice.
So I'm a very conservative trader. I only risk 1% of my capital on any given trade. So if I'm going to lose a trade, I'm only going to take a 1% loss, and I'll start looking for the next opportunity instead of like losing a huge amount and holding a trade, hoping that it would turn around for me. I'd rather take the small loss now and move on with the next one.
Okay. I see a question there. He says, Tulani is asking, how many strategies do you use and how long do you hold your trades for?
Yeah, good question, Tulani. So Yeah, I've tried so many different strategies, man. And this is one thing that uh, like is a very personal thing. You have to find a strategy that works for your personality, you know. And so I had tried all kinds of strategies. I tried scalping, which is a short-term trading. It could be 5 minutes to 2 hours to 3 hours, and then you close the trade out. You take your profit or you take your loss. I tried swing trading, where you can hold a position for 2 days up to five weeks even, you know. I tried that as well. I tried day trading, position trading, but for me personally, I enjoy day trading because I can get in the market, you know, take my profit and get out of the market, or I can take my loss and get out of the market, you know. So I hate holding a trade overnight, because anything could happen overnight, where your good position, maybe even you had a position that was in profit, and overnight while you're sleeping, you have no control over that position, man. We sleep for 6 to 7 hours a night, and so much can happen in that time. So that's why I sort of now have moved into more of a day trading strategy, where I'm only looking for positions in the morning, placing those positions, and by like 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, I close my positions out. You know, sometimes where they in a profit or a loss, and that's how I base my monthly results, is on those day trades that I create.
Okay. Look, because we're on the 9 to 5 millionaire page, you know, part of the goal of this community is to help people. Especially, we take into account that some people have jobs.
Yep.
You know, they don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I think I just want to touch on two things before we move into your 5 tips, for successful trading.
For sure.
And I think for me, the first question is, a total newbie. They know absolutely nothing. They want to get into this year.
Okay.
They're asking themselves, do I have the time?
All right.
Right, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, and I know more or less what your answer is going to be, how long will it take for me to replace my income, or at least earn a decent income to give me because we believe that people need additional incomes, multiple streams of income.
For sure.
So, we want people that follow this community to learn something, so that if they go out there and take action, we want them to come back and say, you know what, I took the advice, and I've been able to supplement my monthly income by earning an extra 5 or 10,000 rand or $1,000 a month.
For sure.
So the one is the time, number one, and then number two, what you feel is possible for someone with that limited time to basically supplement that monthly income.
Okay, cool. I personally think that learning how to trade and learning how to invest your money wisely is something that everybody should learn. No matter what, if you're in a job, no matter if you run a business, no matter if you're studying, financial literacy and education is so important. You know, a lot of us tend to just rely on the old system. And when I say old system, I mean the system that's been in place for hundreds of years, which is that of the banking system. And the banks want us to keep our money in the bank because we believe that that's where it's safe, right? But if you look at the average, money market account or any investment account that's out there right now, the max you can get is like 7%, if you're lucky 8% per annum. Not even per month, per annum. So if you look at that, that's like less than 1% a month, right, of your money. Now take the price or the rate of inflation. Inflation is almost 5 to 6% per annum. So you have this money sitting in a money market account that's earning 7. Inflation is about 5%. How much are you really making on your money, right? You're making really zero, with all the fees and things that are involved in keeping your money safe. I mean, you better off putting your money in a Forex account and making 1% a day or 2% a month. It's better than keeping it in a bank account. So when it comes to time, I believe everybody can find the time to learn how to control their finances, right? We all go to the bank anyway. We all spend our money on things that we like, and we all have some form of savings. And right now in South Africa, we're in a dire state where a lot of people compared to our past generation, are not saving for retirement. Right? A lot of people are not saving for retirement. And if you have a RA, which is a retirement annuity, it's a debit order that's going off your account to save money for your future when you turn 50, 60, whenever you're going to retire. And even that, the money that's in your retirement annuity is only earning like 2 to 3% a year. So what you need to look at is, can I afford not to be financially literate? You know, can I afford not to learn about Forex, the stock market, all of these kind of things? If you look at the wealthiest man in the world, Warren Buffett, he's the wealthiest trader in the world. He believes that if you're buying a stock, anything in the stock portfolio, you need to hold that thing for 10 years. If you're confident enough to buy that share, you need to be confident enough to hold that thing for 10 years. And this is where you actually see the major growth of your money. Right? You're going to see it over time. It's not going to happen in 1 month. It's not going to happen in 2 months. That's just being unrealistic, right? The power of compounding interest, like Albert Einstein said, is the most powerful thing in the world. So you need to just be patient with your money and give yourself time. And a lot of people say they can't find the time to learn this and learn that, but a lot of us watch TV, right? We Netflix and chill. We go and hang out with our friends. All you really need is 1 hour a day to focus on your trading account, and that's what it's going to take, yeah, and not a lot of money either.
Okay, and then part two on the question.
Yeah.
You know, if someone gets involved in this year,
yes,
you know, your belief in terms of, you know, if it's possible for them,
yeah,
to replace that income or substantially, you know, assist them every month to boost their income.
Yeah.
You know, do you think that's possible? Do you? And I'm not holding you to this at all.
For sure.
But just to give people an idea of how quickly they could turn a profit and start seeing some good results.
Definitely, it's very possible in this industry, and that's dependent on the education that you get, and maybe having the right mentor, having the right guidance. Because if you're going to go out there and like teach yourself how to trade, it's going to take a little bit longer to replace your monthly income, you know, as a trader. But if you got the right supports and the right advice, and you're taking the right action, and you're not letting things like greed, you know, come into the equation, and you stick to your strategy, right? Then you're going to be able to replace your income within, I would say, you know, 6 months to a year. If you're a disciplined trader and you're a consistent person who is focusing on building your wealth.
Okay, awesome. I have one question, more question. Maybe just give the viewers an idea. I know you once told me that you spent a lot of money on trading, education, knowledge.
Yeah.
If you had to put out a number there, what do you think you've invested in your education to understand Forex?
Sure. I mean, I've already been in the game so long, I could just give you an example of what I spent last year, because I think that would be the most relevant to where we're at now. I'm not sure of what it is over the full 10 years period, but last year I probably spent about $2,000 to $3,000 on education, just sharpening my skills, getting in touch with the right kind of traders, mentors, going through courses. And you understand, a lot of the courses that I still currently participate in are things I've already seen. They're things I've already watched. They're certain things I've already learned, right? But I might spend $700 on someone's course who teaches me one thing that I didn't know that created that tipping point, right? That just had that paradigm shift in my head, and that took me from, you know, 80% trader to 100% trader. So that's why I'm always pursuing education. I'm always spending money on education. No matter how smart you think you are, you always need to practice.
Cool. Okay, I do see your question there, Retabile. Just stay on till the end. We're going to be speaking about training and coaching. I'm going to be touching on that. Jeremy, I think at this point, we said 20 minutes, but this is such an awesome interview. We're already over half an hour.
Wow.
So I think maybe let's go into your 5 tips. Someone's watching this, they want to get into this market. your 5 tips, strategies, that you can advice that you can give them.
Cool.
And I'm gonna leave that over to you.
Awesome. So the reason I put together these 5 tips, and I thought long and hard about them, is because I wanted to take the 10 years of experience, and try and condense it into like a 1 year period for people to take that information and utilize it so they could experience the success I've had within that long space of time. And haven't really created any courses and all of that stuff because I make enough money trading, but my way of giving back and my way of empowering the youth in South Africa and just in general people who want to be financially more literate and learn the skill is that like I'm just willing to pour into people so that they can learn how to do this for themselves. So I put together 5 tips over here, and I think the first tip for me, which was one of the important things, and I spent almost 2 months researching this before I had opened my first trading account, is finding the right broker. I mean, there are so many ads out there that are popping up on our social medias, on our TVs or wherever, talking about this broker, put your money there, put your money there. It's so important to have the right broker, because remember, a broker is giving you the facility to be able to trade the financial market, okay? And so the broker inevitably is your bank. So if you're going to put your money in a bank account that's going to shut down after 2 years, is your money safe? No, it isn't. So the most important thing, I think, for beginners is to first do the research and find the right broker, right? Make sure that broker is regulated. So it has the financial board certificate, and they have an office, they have staff that are present, that you can go and see them, sit in their office and have queries, and there's a lot of, customer support. That kind of stuff is so important, I believe. There's some brokers that have started in South Africa. I was part of one of these brokers. I invested some money in them. Their customer support was terrible, so I withdrew my money from them. And about a year later, that broker was shut down, right? I went back to that broker. I went to Google and I said the name of the broker, reviews, right? Put the name of the broker and type reviews. I pressed enter on Google, and I went to go find that this broker was non-existent. If you went to their website, it says, the only service that's available is the call center, but you cannot withdraw any money. You cannot make any deposits. You cannot do anything with that broker. And I know personally a lot of people who had invested money with that broker whose money was all gone, whether they made a profit or not. Some people make profits, keep their money in the account so that it can continually grow, but those guys lost their money. So having the right broker, firstly, the right machine, the right car that's going to get you from A to Z is really the most important part if you're getting started in this industry. Okay, so we've identified some brokers and then some brokers that I use that, if you need that information, we're willing to share that as well to help you with your research program. You don't have to go and research for 2 months like I did to find that broker. And then number 2, guys, is like I mentioned earlier on, is find a mentor, And when I say mentor, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to find someone who you're going to be sitting down with every day, right? I have a lot of mentors who I view as my mentors, but they're guys online. I've either purchased a course from them or purchased some kind of training or a one-on-one, a Skype call or coaching. I don't have to literally be in front of that person to call them my mentor. So having a mentor is obviously going to help you increase the speed at which you're going to become successful in trading, in anything. If you're a golfer, if you're a muscle builder, whatever it is, you need to find a mentor who can fast track your results, right? So someone who's actually made money in Forex, not a lot of these guys on Instagram who are posting these things about how much money they make and showing you all these flashy cars and whatever. You got to find someone who you trust, that you think is the right person, who has the time and effort, to spend in helping you as well. Okay, so someone who has the lifestyle that you want. All right, you don't always necessarily have to look at the cars. I know it's a big thing in South Africa. People get excited about fast cars and fancy cars and whatever. Anybody can purchase a car on HP. You know, one of my mentors told me, if you can't buy that car twice, you can't afford it. And twice in cash, you know, not twice by paying 5 or 10 or 11,000 rand a month to have a fancy car that's owned by the bank. All right. So don't get swayed by what people are showing you on social media and showing you a lifestyle. A lot of it, you know, is not true. So find someone who's actually making profits, actually winning at Forex, and is able to help you achieve those same goals. All right, that's number 2. Number 3, guys, is find a strategy that suits your personality. All right, so we're all different. We all can't be the same kind of trader, right? You might have a 9-to-5 job. So you can't be a day trader like I am, or you can't be a scalper, because a scalper is going to need to be sitting in front of his screens for a certain amount of hours every day. And if you have a day job, maybe that's an unrealistic goal, all right? So you need to find something that's going to suit your lifestyle. So you might look at wanting to be a swing trader. There's someone who looks at the charts on a daily time frame, right? So you might look at the chart on a Monday and make a decision and only close out your trade on a Friday or the next week after that, because you understand the long-term trend of this currency, of this instrument that you are trading. All right, and so there's 3 different kinds of trading strategies. There's scalping, there's swing trading, and day trading or position trading. Right. So once you start learning about Forex and you figure out, like, you know, which one is going to suit your personality, you know, then you can start finding out more information based on that strategy. And the most important thing about a strategy is, one thing having a strategy, there's another thing sticking to the rules of that strategy. And that only comes in through point number 4, which is being consistent and being disciplined, right? You've got to be consistent. You've got to do it every day, even if it's taking you 30 minutes a day. But doing it 30 minutes every day is going to be much better than doing it 30 minutes once a week. All right? It's just a fact of going over your account, looking over what's going on, doing a little bit of research, checking out your positions, and you know, that's how you're going to build consistency and discipline. Most people lose due to lack of practice, right? So like even a golfer, if you play golf once a month, you know, you're not going to develop as fast as someone who's playing maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times a month. You know, he's going to be a lot quicker than you are. And so consistency and discipline is, I think, the biggest thing in Forex success. You know, you can't trade today and then hope you're going to trade next week again. You're going to make complete mistakes on that. And I'd like to add to consistency and discipline, especially for new traders, is to choose one Forex pair and learn how that pair works. All right. So whether it's USD, JPY, or Euro USD, or if it's gold, or if it's a certain share on the share portfolio like Netflix or whatever, I would advise you to just pick one, right? Pick one, learn how that thing moves, because all of them move differently. And if you can understand how that currency pair moves, you're gonna win at this game, right? Because you can't have too much information coming into your mind at once. If you understand one thing, you can master that one thing. And that comes with consistency and discipline. So number 5, guys, which is something that I always try and teach, you know, some of my friends and traders who are in my community, is to learn how to cut your losses early, right? Losing is part of this game. No trader out there, even if you're the best trader in the world, doesn't take L's, right? Doesn't take losses. You got to learn how to take your losses and learn how to cut them early, right? So like I said earlier, only risk like 1% of your account on any given trade. So if you have $100, you can afford to lose $1 on that trade, right? I would rather lose $1 than $50 on one trade. So I have 49 other opportunities to go out there and make a good decision on my trading platform, right? So say for instance, I have 10 trades, okay? And I lose 6 trades, okay? I've lost $6. okay? And I have 4 trades that are winners. But these 4 trades made me $5, right? So that's $5, $10, $15, $20. Am I still a winner, right? I only have a 40% win rate, but I'm still coming out in profit. And that's possible by having a proper risk management and a proper a system that allows you to cut your losses early instead of holding on to a loss, right? Because sometimes you can be confident that this thing's gonna go up, but it's going down, right? And you can't have a personal attachment to that trade. It's not personal, brother. USD JPY doesn't hate you, you know? It's your attachment to the market. The market doesn't care who you are. If you have an NBA, it doesn't care if you have R1 million in your account. If you're the president of South Africa or America, it really doesn't care. The market is run by the big banks. The banks are out there to take our money, right? So we need to learn how to be smart and use our money wisely and learn how to cut the losses. The biggest mistake of most traders is holding trades way too long, and they end up withering away their accounts because of that. So guys, those are my 5 tips, and I hope that added some value to your guys' understanding of Forex and for you going forward with Forex. And yeah, we've got a super surprise for you guys right now, and Aslam will share with you a little bit more on that.
So firstly, wasn't that awesome? Just drop a comment if you found value, you know, in this video, in this live. If you feel this is going to help someone, definitely, you know, share it with them, you know, put them into the tags on the video. Jeremy, firstly, thanks a lot.
Sure, my brother.
You know, I learned a couple of things as well. And yeah, we're going to make this announcement. Awesome. Ihsan, thanks for coming on there. So also to answer Retabile, thanks there, valuable info, you know, appreciate it, guys. Glad you found value. So you know, myself and Jeremy have been speaking for a long time, and what you're watching right now is the official partnership between the 9 to 5 Millionaire and Mr. Jeremy Cohen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? And here's our surprise. If you're on this video right now, if you're here live, or if you're watching it on replay, would it be valuable to you if you could have Jeremy coaching you to get started in your Forex journey? So just drop a comment below and let us know if that'll be awesome and if that'll help you just to find your feet and get started. You know, I'm gonna wait like a couple of seconds. Yes, okay, awesome, right? So Ihsan's already dropped a comment there, right? So you can hear he's got a lot of knowledge, he invests a lot of time and money into his education. So the surprise is this. Yes, please, Ratabila, thanks for commenting. We have got a 3-day free training coming up, okay? Free training with Jeremy over here. He's going to start you off, and I'm actually going to give over to him for a couple of seconds here, where he's going to tell you exactly what he's going to teach you in this 3-day training. Guys, it's completely free. I'm going to be posting the link at the bottom of this video. There's going to be a link. You need to click on that link. It'll take you to a page. You need to put your details into that page so that we know who's interested. And from there, it's going to lead you into our private group, which is where the training is going to be taking place. So, Jeremy, maybe if you can touch on what that training is actually, you know, going to teach people. And I'm assuming that most people that will get into this are completely new, and they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. So if you can just touch on that quickly.
Okay, cool. So like, I'm really excited to put this information together because it's a culmination of like the strong points that I've learned over the last 10 years, and I'm just going to help condense it for you guys so you can have a fast start in the Forex market, right? So in the first day, what I'm going to teach you is how to set up your trading platform. Okay, now you can do this on your phone or you can do this on your laptop. I'm going to show you both ways that you can set yourself up for success in trading Forex. So I'm going to teach you how to use MetaTrader, which is our trading platform, and show you which is the best broker to link to your MetaTrading platform, right? And then on day 2, I'm going to teach you very basically what is technical analysis and how you're able to read your charts, right? So when you open up a chart and you look at USD JPY or you look at the price of gold, I'm going to show you how to analyze that chart and how to take a decision based on the information that you're looking at, because a lot of people don't understand like what's in a chart. When I show you a chart, it's just a whole lot of lines and whatever. You don't exactly understand what's going on there. So I'm going to teach you a strategy which is going to go along with your charts, right? A strategy that you can start using immediately to start trading, right? And going back to step one with setting up your MetaTrader and your trading account, I'm going to start everybody off with a free demo account. All right, so this demo account, it has fake money in it, right? So it's going to be for you to practice, to gain your confidence, to understand how the market works, so you're able to literally take trades on your phone after that first training, right? And you can start practicing. You don't need money right away. I want you to learn the skill, have confidence before you go and invest your money into a live trading account, right? So I'm going to teach you how to set it up, how to analyze and look at the opportunities to take in the market. Then I'm going to teach you how to compound your growth, right? Compound your results so that you can create $10, turn $10 into $100, $100 into $1,000, and so on and so forth. And that is done through a certain system that I use and I've created over all these years, and I'm going to teach you guys exactly how that works and how I'm able to do that. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of extra knowledge just as a bonus to teach you guys how to invest some of those Forex profits so that you can create a portfolio within your JSE, within the stock market, to create long-term wealth, right? I want you guys to save for retirement. I want you to be in a position where you can retire at 45, at 55, whatever age you want to retire. And you can only do that through investing your money wisely, not putting it in a savings account. You know, a retirement annuity is cool, it has its benefits, but I want to show you how you can compound that same money and make a lot better results on that money. Like for instance, there's a thing that we have in our stock market, is called the ETF, right? So ETFs are basically like a grouping of say 6 or 7 shares on the stock exchange, all bundled into one instrument. All right, so I purchased an ETF which is called the MSC World Tracker. It tracks the world's growth through the whole market. I purchased that last year around a similar time. It's been a year that I've held that share. I'm sitting on 120% return on that money, guys. 120% return. Now, if I had put that same money in my money market account, I would have made 7% return for that entire year. So I'm outplaying the banks by almost 100%. No, what is it? 1,000%.
Yeah.
Beating the banks by 1,000%. And this is what we want to do. We want to beat the bank, guys. The bank's been beating us too long. I want to teach you guys how to beat the bank, and I'm so excited to share this information with you, man.
Okay. So this training is going to be happening. We're going to be posting it in the group, in the private group. It's probably going to go live. We're still deciding. It'll either be next week Tuesday, okay, which is I think about the 17th or so, or 18th. Either the Tuesday or the Wednesday. We're just going to decide on the exact date. You'll be able to get in the group. You'll be able to act directly with Jeremy. You know, he's going to ask you to post things in the group, and he's going to be coaching and mentoring you directly within that group. Okay, yes, it's going to be an online training. Is it the training going online? Yes, it's going to be online within a Facebook group. But like I said, I'm going to put a link in the comments of this video that you see right here, and I'll also put it on the page. Just click on that link. It's going to take you to a page. You're going to put in your information and just follow the prompts. It'll take you directly into the group. You're going to request access. You need to answer some questions before you get into the group. Once you're in, we'll let you know when it's going live. And here's the final surprise. I'm glad you stayed on. If you stayed on, this is the biggest surprise. So I twisted his arm a little bit, okay? And guess what he's going to do? Through a draw, okay, through a lucky draw that we're going to be having within everyone that for everyone that participates in this free training, one lucky person is going to get a funded account, okay? Not play money, real money in your account. You can start trading with that money. If that excites you, you know, just drop a comment below. So you're going to get free money that you're going to be able to start trading with at the end of that period. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. We've enjoyed it. We scheduled this thing for 20 minutes. Jeremy's dropped a ton of value over here. He's over delivered. You know, excited, can't wait to get started. Thanks a lot, Dennis. So, you know, just make sure you come back to this video, look for the link that I'm going to drop. It'll say something called, I think it's called 95 Millionaire Forex Training or something like that. Just follow that and you're going to get into that training, and look out for it. It's going to start next week. Guys, thanks for coming on. Hope you enjoyed it. Share this with your friends. Tag a friend if you enjoyed it, if you found value, and we'll see you in the free training.
Peace, guys.